So starting with the meaning of CSR, as you can read on the screen, CSR is a self-regulating business model that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholder and the public. For example, you have heard of Tata. They have established number of schools, colleges and hospitals. So why they are doing it? Because they are making profit out of society's resources. So it is their responsibility to give back to the society. In the same way, banks are also doing CSR activities. Now coming to why CSR is needed. So first, it builds trust and we know that a trust is the most important in business. Secondly, it also creates positive customer outreach. Customers also appreciate CSR activities, which builds a positive image of the company in customers' mind. Now what if companies do not perform any CSR activities? So for that, there are no compulsory rules and regulations for banking CSR activities, but under Companies Act 2013, Section 135, subsection 1 of the Act states that every company having the specified turnover must perform CSR activities.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Devanshi, and I will be representing one of the leading private sector banks of our country, the ICICI Bank. As a large and responsible financial institution, we undertake several initiatives in the areas of skill development and sustainable livelihood, financial literacy and financial inclusion, healthcare, and other social projects across rural and urban areas through our one and only ICICI Foundation for Inclusive Growth. Our entity, the ICICI Foundation, was established by ICICI Bank in the year 2008. It aims to consolidate, catalyze, and expand social development efforts majorly in the rural areas. Now, if you have a look at our overall spending on the slide, we have surpassed our CSR obligation of the mandated 184.53 crores and spent a whopping 200 crores for the year ended 2021 on our CSR activities. Now, as you can see the three pillars alongside, these basically represent the three initiatives implemented by our foundation. Firstly, on the top of the pillar, we have the ICICI Academy for Skills, which aims to provide free vocational training to meet the demand for skilled individuals. Then, we have ICICI Foundation Rural Livelihood Program. Now, this program trains and motivates the trainees to pursue entrepreneurship. It further offers financial and operational support and connections with government schemes or market linkages to provide sustainable livelihood opportunities. On the last ladder, we have the ICICI Rural Self-Employment Training Institutes or RSETIs. ICICI Foundation manages 2 RSETIs in Udaipur and Jodhpur and 18 satellite centers throughout Rajasthan. Now, these centers offer skill training programs based on the local needs of the local market, thus improving employment opportunities for the beneficiaries, like providing online training in mobile phone repair and service was one of a kind initiative in the year 2020 to 2021 that helped young beneficiaries earn a livelihood when the country was under a complete lockdown. So here's an overview of the key areas focused on by our bank for the financial year 2020 to 2021. These are education and skill development with topmost priority, which is led by the ICICI Academy for Skills initiative. Secondly, on healthcare, to facilitate the supply of masks and PPE kits during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, ICICI RSETIs, as I mentioned in the previous slide, at Udaipur and Jodhpur responded to this situation by training the women beneficiaries to make masks and PPE kits. Then, for sustainable livelihood, we have transformed the lives of the rural people with innovative programs such as improving nourishment of underprivileged tribals and facilitating direct market linkages to farmers. We strongly aim to conserve our environment through sustainable practices and lastly, promote the rural development through financial inclusion and literacy. I would also like to mention here that our bank has a well-defined financial literacy plan to spread awareness and inculcate the habit of financial savings among the rural customers. The bank is especially focused on imparting financial education and creating awareness on banking services in the unbanked and underbanked areas of the country. Our heightened focus on our Mother Nature has compelled me to share some sustainability initiatives launched by our bank. We have financed projects for capacity creation in renewable energy sectors like solar, wind, and hydropower, and other sustainable sectors like waste processing with an allocation which stands at Rs 31.5 billion as on 31st March 2021. Apart from the funding, we are committed to energy efficiency and always seek to adopt environmentally friendly practices in our operations. Large offices of the bank are designed in such a way that these conserve energy, manage water and waste in an eco-friendly manner. Our bank ensures that water consumption at its large offices is lower than the benchmark. The bank recycles and reuses wastewater at 3 large offices, and all new offices and branches opened during the financial year were fitted with water efficient plumbing fixtures. As we are a pioneer in digitization and adoption of emerging technologies in banking, a large focus of these measures has been geared towards saving paper. During the fiscal, our bank also enabled digitization of high volume service requests on our mobile and internet banking platforms. We have also led 90% of the personal loans, 75% of credit cards, 64% of systematic investment plan or SIPs, and 56% of fixed deposit being digitally sourced. So yes, our bank has initiated a whole range of activities indeed. But how far has it reached and actually impacted the masses despite the pandemic? Let's have a look at some of the real numbers for the financial year ended 2021. Firstly, under the ICICI Academy for Skills, new models of training delivery were implemented across skill academies and have successfully trained more than 14,200 youth with 100% placement, and these efforts by the entire initiative have benefited over 31,800 people in 365 villages, 61% of whom comprise only of women. Secondly, through our self-help group bank linkage program, the bank encourages the idea of entrepreneurship among underprivileged rural women and helps them earn sustainable livelihood. And this has sanctioned loans to over 8 million women beneficiaries through more than 6 lakh self-help groups. Then, under rural and inclusive banking objective, existing network of branches and ATMs were further supplemented by over 4,000 customer service points at nearly 12,800 unbanked locations, and also 4.7 million basic saving bank account were opened under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. In fact, it is our pride that we have also saved 9 million A4 size sheets, which have equally saved 1,000 trees and 4.5 million liters of water countrywide. Lastly, over 2,000 carbon dioxide based fire extinguishers were replaced by eco-friendly fire extinguishers in all of our ICICI branches. Now, as we all know what the year 2020 is famous for, the ICICI Group has donated around Rs 1 billion to support the nation in the early days of the pandemic and directly contributed Rs 800 million to the PM CARES Fund. Our bank, along with the foundation, undertook a series of comprehensive efforts to mitigate the impact of the pandemic on all the stakeholders, including customers, employees, and communities. To provide immediate relief to the communities, our bank has reached out to the state governments, district administrations, municipal corporations, police forces, and hospitals by providing support and critical materials such as masks and sanitizers in all states and union territories, covering more than 550 districts. We have also deployed mobile ATM vans across various cities to bring key banking services to the doorstep of residents who were advised to stay home. Ensuring safety and well-being of employees. Now, this measure was indeed prioritized and we took great care to provide a safe and healthy work environment. a focus program was launched to vaccinate all our employees and their immediate family members. We have assisted COVID affected employees and their families by enabling medical e consultation and assisting with quarantine and hospitalization facilities. Lastly, enabling customers to avail uninterrupted banking services. We have accelerated our efforts in the area of digital banking and launched a slew of offerings as well as loan products. The objective was very simple, just to ensure that customers were able to fulfill all their banking requirements from the safety of their homes. Some of these key offerings introduced during the pandemic are ICICI Stack, which offers nearly 500 services that encompass almost all banking requirements of the customers, such as WhatsApp banking, chatbot, and voice banking, Insta loan against mutual funds, cardless EMI, Insta education loan being among the others.
Hello everyone, I am Priyanshu Agarwal and I am going to represent Hdfc Bank today. As you all know that we are talking about CSR activities of different banks. So let's get started. In Hdfc Bank, there is an umbrella campaign for all sectors by the name of Parivartan, a step towards progress. As you can see on the screen right now, in Parivartan campaign, Hdfc Bank is working in multiple fields like education, skill development, healthcare, rural development, livelihood enhancement, and financial literacy. I also want to add some information like in FY 2021, HDFC Bank spent rupees 635 crores towards this campaign. The bank's Parivartan has cumulatively have impacted over 8.5 crore lives across India. With the outgo of rupees 635 crores in the last financial year, the bank is one of the largest contributors of CSR in the country. One of the largest contributor. Now let's watch a video of HDFC Bank's Parivartan and Umbrella campaign. Since its first step in 1995, HDFC has emerged as the most valuable brand in India. This incredible journey was a result of the vision HDFC kept in mind that the real development of a country happens when all stakeholders are empowered, down to the last person. A lot is done, much remains. We at HDFC Bank are committed to bring this change. How can we make Gopal earn with dignity? How can we make something as basic as water accessible to Kebina and others in village? How can we save Chanchal from the embarrassment of defecating in the open? How do we make learning fun for Tikeshwar? How can we empower Thiman and her family? As a socially responsible citizen, HDFC Bank is empowering millions of lives. Now, coming to HDFC Bank's Parivartan campaign, it is working as a multi-field campaign trying to empower all major sectors like rural development, education, skill training and livelihood enhancement, health and hygiene, financial literacy and inclusion. Change is possible when communities are empowered. Change is Parivartan. Parivartan is not only the transformation of economy, but the transformation of the people, and all we need is that one first step. Okay, so after watching this video, I hope you all are feeling good, because that feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of doing something good for others, that's the whole purpose of these CSR activities. So now let's talk about the impact of HDFC Bank's CSR activities in different fields. So as you can see on the screen, like these are the different initiatives under the Parivartan campaign and umbrella program. So first one is like holistic rural development program. So it is related to rural development. It has impacted over 1970 villages in 21 states. Second, you can see like teaching the teachers, 3T initiative. So it is related to education, trained over 19.67 lakh teachers, benefiting over 2.07 crore students. So you can see the numbers, it is in lakhs, crores. So HDFC Bank is doing great in CSR activities. Third one, you can see like sustainable livelihood initiatives. So it is related to improving the standard of life of different people in different corners of India. So you can see like it has impacted over 1.29 crore households in 28 states across 544 districts. Next one is related to health and hygiene, under which HDFC Bank has constructed over 23,500 toilets, conducted 1800 plus sanitation drives, organized 1.18 lakh plus health camps under HDFC Bank's WASH program. Next one is related to financial literacy, in which HDFC Bank has trained over 1.42 crore beneficiaries via 18.84 plus lakh financial literacy camps. So all you can see that HDFC Bank is doing CSR activities on a very large scale, which shows that HDFC is balancing their core business and also taking care of society in return.
As per our research, we have made points of comparison between the two banks. On the basis of expenditure, HDFC Bank has spent 2% of its average net profit, that is 635 crore out of 31,116 crores, whereas ICICI Bank has spent 2% of its average profit for last 3 financial years, that is 200 crores. On the basis of rural development, HDFC Bank has covered 1970 villages in 21 states through its Holistic Rural Development Program, whereas ICICI Bank has covered 31,800 people in 365 villages under its ICICI Foundation Rural Livelihood Program. Next, on the basis of education, HDFC Bank has benefited around 19 lakh teachers under its Teaching for Teachers initiative and over 2.7 crore students, whereas ICICI Bank has trained 59,300 beneficiaries, 13 training courses in 19 states and 2 union territories. Now, on comparing on the basis of healthcare, HDFC Bank has constructed 23,500 toilets, conducted 1,800 plus sanitation drives under its HDFC Bank's WASH program, whereas ICICI Bank made 500 women to manufacture 22,000 PPE kits and 2 lakh face masks, thus generating women employment. So on comparing expenditure of both the banks, we have come to the conclusion that HDFC Bank has spent more on CSR, that is 635 crore, whereas ICICI Bank has spent 200 crores.
Hi all, I am Shiv and I will be talking about CSR activities of SBI Bank for next 2 to 3 minutes. Social responsibility is deeply ingrained in the culture of SBI. The bank leverages its geographical footprint to conduct CSR activities and touch millions of lives. CSR initiatives are also aligned with national priorities like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, and river rejuvenation efforts to lend momentum to the national development agenda. During the reporting year, SBI spent 144.88 crores on various CSR initiatives. This year, enhancing the resilience of beneficiaries was the key agenda of the bank, which directed its CSR efforts towards healthcare, education, skill development, livelihood, sports, protection of national heritage, and environmental sustainability. Special emphasis was also given to uplifting and empowering armed forces veterans, women, youth, and senior citizen. Now coming to SBI Foundation. In the year 2015, the bank established SBI Foundation as a Section 8 of Companies Act 2013 with the objective of streamlining the CSR activities of SBI and its subsidiaries. The foundation embodies the bank's ethos of service beyond banking by creating an inclusive development paradigm that serves all Indians. It seeks to deliver benefits across the length and breadth of the country through strategic partnership with impact-making entities in the social and development sector. Now coming to another slide, out of 144 crores, 71 crores was allocated to SBI Foundation. If we talk about their spending in skill development and education, as on 31st March 2021, the bank has set up 152 RSETIs across the country to work towards this cause. This year, the bank allocated an amount of 22.50 crore to improve and upgrade the infrastructure at 17 of this institute. Education is the foundation upon which a self-sufficient life is built. SBI strives to support the education of weaker social group in remote, unreachable and underdeveloped areas. This year, the bank started providing financial assistance for the education of 100 children with disabilities. In empowerment of women and senior citizens, this year a saving machine center was set up at Sri Seva Bharati Shiksha Samiti, Indore, to help women establish and secure a steady income stream. 10 workstations were set up at the Shraddhanand Mahilashram in Mumbai. In healthcare, through its CSR initiatives, the bank is constantly working to ensure this by providing the requisite infrastructure to hospitals and NGOs and trusts working in this sector. Last, in environment protection and sanitization, SBI is committed to doing its part to ensure that Indians have access to safe, healthy and clean environments. The bank has undertaken a number of initiatives in line with the Government of India's goal of achieving Swachh Bharat. Further, it supported a tree plantation drive organized by the Green Leaf Trust in Ahmedabad.
Hello, I am Punjab National Bank. So I am going to explain how in Punjab National Bank we spend the CSR budget for the year 2020 to 2021. The total amount incurred for this particular financial year is 40.38 crores, out of which 0.44 crores was used for PNB Hockey Academy, 3.85 crores was for farmers training centers, 24.56 was for rural self-employment training institutes, 0.03 crores was for PNB Ladli scheme, and finally 2.65 crores and 9.4 crores went into CSR at zonal office and CSR at head office respectively. Now getting into the details. Starting with skill development and sports at PNB. We have established 12 farmers training centers. The FTCs are providing free of cost training on agriculture and allied activities and also for computers, cutting and tailoring, embroidery and entrepreneurship development programs. FTCs have imparted training to 16,24,718 people by conducting 52,254 training programs. These training centers have been equipped with mobile van having soil testing facilities at the farmers field and LED for audio-visual display of informative video clips to the farmers. 75 rural self-employment training institutes and 2 rural development centers are operating in India, which are engaged in providing training to rural population and their families for skill upgradation to undertake self-employment ventures or jobs. During the financial year 2020 to 2021, 32,567 people were trained in these centers, out of which 17,975 belong to BPL families and 25,148 were women. Next is PNB Hockey Academy. It is one of the major initiatives towards supporting national game. Through this academy, the bank nurtures young and talented players by providing all logistic support and prepares them for the national team. Now coming to women empowerment sector, the PNB Ladli scheme is meant for popularization of education among girls of rural or semi-urban areas. Under this scheme, bank is providing for education inputs of rupees 2,500 in lump sum and rupees 100 per month as pocket allowance to 10 needy girl students of each identified village. Selected girls will continue to get support every year till they complete 12th class. During financial year 2020 to 2021, rupees 3.42 lakh was distributed among 329 girl students. Next is environment. We are making efforts for rainwater harvesting in existing buildings and encouraging environment friendly new constructions. We are also spreading awareness through our various social media channels among masses through Catch the Rain mission initiated by Government of India. Various other green initiatives like tree plantation could not be performed effectively due to government imposed COVID-19 restrictions throughout India. Coming to the healthcare sector, during the year 2020 to 2021, the bank has undertaken CSR activities with the active involvement of staff amid COVID-19 pandemic situation. During this financial year, our bank has successfully carried out All India CSR campaign against COVID-19 in 3 phases in their respective regions by helping needy old age people along with activities supporting frontline workers acting bravely in fighting against coronavirus. In July 2020, the bank launched its first nationwide CSR campaign with the resolution to fight the spread of COVID-19, accompanying the Government of India's extensive efforts to contain challenges and risks posed by the growing pandemic. We distributed relief materials like face masks and sanitizers in more than 662 districts to the needy people across the country to help them fight COVID-19. On 20th August 2020, the second phase of the campaign began, with PNB employees distributing masks and sanitizers across the country by zonal offices: Delhi, Amritsar, Lucknow, Gurugram in north, Hyderabad in south, Guwahati in northeast, Ahmedabad in west, Raipur and Bhopal in central India. As part of the commitment to widen its social inclusion of COVID-19 prevention activities, Bank also joined hands with Humsafar Trust, India's first community-based organization, and distributed face masks and sanitizers to the LGBT members in Mumbai region. The third and the last phase of the nationwide CSR campaign was commenced on 25th September 2020, which was titled Jai Jawan Jai Kishan, to honor the farmers throughout its rural and semi-urban branches across India. The next is education sector. PNB Kisan Balak Shiksha Protsahan Yojana scheme has been launched to provide financial assistance to the students of poor agriculture borrowers comprising of small farmers, marginal farmers, tenant farmers, oral lessees, and agricultural labor. They are eligible provided their loan account is running regular. Since inception, rupees 47 lakh has been given as incentive to 1,553 students up to March 2021 under the scheme.
Now I am going to compare the two public sector banks, that is State Bank of India and Punjab National Bank, on the basis of their CSR expenditure. First, education. SBI have spent rupees 5.78 crores on education, which impacted the education of 100 students with disabilities, while Punjab National Bank have spent around 47 lakhs on education, impacting 1550 underprivileged children. Second, women empowerment and welfare. SBI have spent around 5.4 crores on women empowerment. Library with 10 workstations was set up at Shraddhanand Mahilashram in Mumbai. PNB, on the other hand, spent around 35 lakhs, which was distributed among 329 girl students. The third and the final parameter is skill development, where SBI have spent around 22 crores. Banks has set up 152 rural employment training institutes, where Punjab National Bank has spent rupees 27 crore on skill development by conducting 52,000 training programs. So after comparing the two banks, we got to know that SBI have spent more on education and women empowerment, while Punjab National Bank have spent more on skill development. Comparison of CSR expenditure of the four banks. As we can see, HDFC Bank is in the first position and spent rupees 635 crores, which is 62.3%, followed by ICICI Bank, who spent rupees 200 crores on CSR, which is 19.6%. On the other hand, SBI spent rupees 144 crores on CSR activities, which is 14.1%, and Punjab National Bank spent rupees 40 crores, which is 3.8%, and is at the 4th position. To conclude, we saw that the private sector banks, that is ICICI and HDFC, spent 81.9% together and spent more as compared to the public sector banks. And the public sector banks need to focus more on healthcare and environment related activities. Here are our group members. Thank you all for your patience and attention.